What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to finally bring this roundup that I've been talking about doing for months now. There are quite a few things in this roundup, so do bear with me. And what I'm going to try and do is cluster everything based on foundation, concealer, etc. And then if I'm feeling froggy towards the end of like each group, I will tell you which one I like more than the other, or if I can't kind of decide, I will tell you why. And there will be brief kind of rapid reviews of each. Don't want this intro to be too long. I did not record this look, but this look is using Project Pan and other products. I will have all of those products down below, and I probably will record this in the future, just not now. Okay, so let's start off with a product that I got sent in PR, and this is Merit Beauty's Perfecting Complexion Stick in Cacao. Now, first off, very easily, it was able to see that this was not the right shade for me. This is darker than my skin tone, and this is actually a really good shade though for summer, and I think this is also a good product for summer. Even though it looks like it's in a stick, and so you would think that it's chunky and heavy and just overpowering on your skin, I find that this gives you a light to light medium coverage. I don't think you get a lot of coverage with this, which kind of goes in line with the brand's ideology and stuff. But the finish is really nice. I consider it kind of a natural matte finish, and it's really nice stick. I have been meaning to kind of try and figure out what the perfect shade would be for like every month, but I've also been realizing that I had a lot of foundations that were either expired or on their way, so I don't want to bring too many more foundations into my collection right now. I really just want to focus on what I have so that I can kind of get rid of the expired stuff and then only have good stuff and get use out of that good stuff as well. So I do like this product. I would recommend this product. In case you want to see a video, I do have a first impressions. Get ready with me, and I will try and link every video that I can that's associated with these products down below. Then I also picked up the Denessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Foundation in 21N. This is extremely dark, like this is way too dark. Like I would say this is easily like 3 to 5 shades deeper than my actual complexion. I realized that I think the shade that would work best for me is 16N. I've still not picked up the shade, but I think that's the shade that would actually work for me now. Once again, I have a lot of foundations though, quite either expired or on their way, so I did not want to bring another product in. But just keeping that mindset that when I need or want another foundation, these are kind of some products that I've already gotten use out of, and I already like the products. This is full coverage. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is full coverage. I find that this gives a kind of natural finish to the skin as well. And I really like the applicator. This is a squeezy bottle. I like that this is refillable, so you don't really waste as much as maybe even like this product, where you would have to just throw this whole thing away, and you can't really recycle this. You can recycle the plastic, which I really do appreciate, and I'm very happy that brands are starting to kind of think about that, especially when it comes to makeup. I know skincare brands were already thinking about that, but I really appreciate that makeup brands are already still thinking about it. Overall, between the two, if I had to be honest, the one that I probably would reach for more is this one, mainly because I think I could mix this a little bit easier than this one. I've not tried to mix this one, but just based on the formula and kind of how I apply it, I feel like stick foundations are harder to mix unless you're mixing it with another stick foundation, if that makes any sense. And specifically because both of these aren't my actual shade, I'm going to need to mix them. And so yeah, I think that would be the kind of barrier for me to pick this one up over this one. So either way, I like them both. I would recommend them both. They are useful to people in 2 different manners. And yeah, that's all I got to say for those. Then I have the concealers. So I have 3 different concealers that I picked up more recently. One is the KVD Good Apple in Deep 183. Once again, way too deep. I think this is pretty much on the same depth as the Denessa Myrick, so you know, actually this is deeper because I put them both on that same video. Too deep, okay? I do like that KVD has such a wide range, but now I know. Stop playing yourself, girl. It's way too deep. I love the formula though. It's so nice on my skin. It kind of has to me like a little bit of a cooling sensation at the beginning, and then when you blend it out, it blends out seamlessly. It is full coverage, like full coverage, there's no doubt about it. But it's like I wouldn't say it's thin and I wouldn't say it's thick. I think it would just be the right consistency, in my opinion. I haven't tried pretty much a lot of things from KVD when it comes to complexion. I think I've really only stuck with their concealers and like their powders, but I really, really like this concealer, and I have wanted to get a lighter shade so that I can actually get use out of it now. But once again, I don't want to bring in too many products that are kind of in the same category and then have something expire. Although I will say I'm really good with using up my concealers historically. Next concealer I want to talk about is the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. This is in DN3. I did really good with my shade for this. I really like this shade. It could have been a slightly lighter, but I'm not mad at this shade at all. This is a slightly lightening shade for me. I enjoy the feel of this coverage. This is full coverage in my opinion, although I will say KVD is just like a fuller full coverage than this one, but this is kind of a more traditional amount of full coverage. I really like this. This could be like an everyday concealer, even if you are somebody who needs or uses like a medium coverage foundation. I think that this could easily blend in with the medium coverage foundation, whereas KVD is not. KVD, you're going to see that you have so much coverage in this one area and you're lacking coverage in the other, especially like if you have hyperpigmentation in some of those areas that like a foundation would traditionally cover. I really like this. I am truly interested in trying their foundation and other products in this range. I just haven't pulled the trigger, although I do believe BoxyCharm has some products on sale in their like current BoxyCharm sale situation, and I am interested in picking up a couple of things. So I may pick up some of those LYS because I truly am interested in seeing more of that brand. And in case you didn't know, Denessa, Myricks, and LYS are both Black owned. Last concealer that I have to talk about is the Dior Backstage Concealer. I got this as 5N. I didn't want this to be too lightening because I've been just having a time when it comes to picking up my complexion products, and I think this is perfect for the Backstage line for me. I do typically wear 6N in their foundation, so I just went one shade under. I really like this. I don't have a problem with this concealer at all. I know some people were having problems with it and they weren't liking how it was blending and how it was applying. It applies beautifully to my under eyes, and I don't use a lot of concealer though, but I think this applies really, really nicely. I do think this holds true to being medium coverage, skin like, natural finish, all of that, and yeah, I really, really like it. These two I think would be natural like, if not slightly more matte than the Dior. The Dior is definitely the more kind of lifelike out of these three concealers. I like them all, I really do, and I think they all have a place in my collection. I will use them all in different times, different places, all of that, and I don't even know if I could choose a favorite. Can I choose a favorite? I think it's the KVD on formula alone, not color, but I just really, really like this formula. I really do, even though it's full coverage, and I don't even like full coverage. And I didn't state at the beginning, I am 28. I have combination skin where in the center I am oily, and then on the perimeter I'm pretty much normal now. Okay, let's dive into cream cheek products now. All right, so for cream cheek products, I have quite a few. Let's start off with the bronzers first, and then we'll do blushes and highlighters next. As for the first bronzer that I'm going to talk about, it is the Rare Beauty Cream Bronzer in True Warmth. Like everybody, this is an outstanding bronzer. I find that it applies so smoothly, it blends effortlessly, and it's just a really, really pretty shade. I love it, without a doubt. But if you are my complexion, and I find, at least I think I have like a neutral olive-ish undertone, this pulls extremely warm. So if you do not like extremely warm bronzer and cream format, I would not recommend this. But to me, even once it's blended out, you don't see that extreme warmth. You just kind of see that depth and slight warmth. overall. I don't really know how to explain it, but I think that like the apparent red that I saw when I first applied it, I didn't see the apparent red after I blended it into my complexion products. So that's kind of how I would say about that. Really like the packaging as well. I like that you can just kind of swipe her on and you don't necessarily need a brush. You can just use whatever the brush that you were using with your concealer and your foundation to kind of blend it in. So I really like that. Then we have the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Sun Kissed. And I think this is okay. So I forgot to say, but the Rare Beauty does dry down. More like a skin-like finish than anything. So the e.l.f. Beauty or e.l.f. Cosmetics Sun Kissed Cream Bronzer is nice. It's nice for the price. It is a nice formula. You do have to use a brush or a sponge. When I was testing this out, I was using predominantly a sponge. That's just the way that I prefer it. I think that the undertone is not as warm as I truly would prefer. It's just like a darker shade than my complexion. So I don't really love that, but I don't hate it at all. This does dry down as well. This is one of the, I would say, the fastest kind of drying down formulas when it comes to cream that I have found. So if you're not somebody who likes to kind of set your cream cheek products, I would tell you to look into this range. And I will be talking about another product in this range later on. I like it. It's okay. Not a favorite though, but I truly do enjoy the idea that it dries down on itself without having to kind of be set. I do appreciate that immensely. Then we have the ABH Cream Bronzer in Hazelnut. I feel like I picked this up last year, but let's just talk about it just in case. This is a really nice product. Extremely nice product, extremely easily blendable, pretty much on that same tip as the Rare Beauty. It blends in really nicely, but because it's in this kind of packaging, once again, you have to use at least a brush or a sponge. Once again, I predominantly just prefer these types of pot products with the sponge. It's just how I like the application method. I like it. I like the shade. I like the undertone. I like it all, but it's definitely not nearly as warm as the Rare Beauty Cream Bronzer. And between those two bronzers, or between those three bronzers, I will say Rare Beauty definitely takes the cake for me. I just really enjoy the formula, the undertone, the blendability, all of that, and anything in between. Now let's get into cream blush products, and I have quite a few. Let's start off with the Colored Rain cream blush that I picked up, and this is in the shade Stiletto Rose Cream. This is actually a really good cream blush. I will say that I think that it applies nicely. Once again, I tend to use a sponge when I am applying this on my cheeks. I find that it's nicely pigmented. It can build up on itself. It can also be sheared out. You can decide to not really set it or not, but I will say this does leave a slight tackiness. It does not dry down like I was saying those cream bronzers do, but overall I like it. Am I going to run to get another shade from this formula? No, but it's not a bad formula. And if you are already making a Colored Rain order and you wanted to kind of bring a cream blush into your collection, I would not say that that's going to be something that you're going to hate. Along with the same kind of packaging, we have the e.l.f. Putty Blush, and I have it in the shade Caribbean. And so this is a very bright reddy orange, pretty much the same shade as this one here. The difference though is this dries down by itself. It dries down to kind of a powdery matte finish. It blends in beautifully. It applies beautifully. Once again, I use a sponge with it. Between the two kind of compacts in this formula, or in this roundup, I would honestly more so recommend the e.l.f. than the Colored Rain. I just get her. We have two more cream blushes though. We have the Abh Peach Caramel. So this is a neutral toned blush. This is in a kind of roll up packaging, which I do appreciate because then you can just swipe it on your cheeks. This shade is very neutral though for me, so it pretty much blends in. It works beautifully with like my Project Pan powder blush, which is nice. This leaves a slight sheen to the skin. I would say more natural than anything. I don't think that this dries down, so I would say to definitely set this if you pick this up. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Then we have the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Peach Beauty Light Wand. It's a high blush euphoriant in the shade Peachgasm. And clearly I didn't read the full title because it's clearly saying that this is a blush. I was trying to use this as a highlighter when I originally picked it up, and I didn't like it. I like it as a blush. It's a really nice blush. It leaves like, it does dry down, which I really appreciate, but it also has like a shimmer running through it, even though it's like a blush. It's quite interesting. This is the only kind of formula that I found that does that. I like it though. I do like it. And I think this could be a really nice like cheek topper. Let's say you have a matte peachy pinky blush that you know you've only had that blush and you're trying to add something kind of to spice up using that product fully. Like if you're one of those people who actually uses up all their products, good for you. What I would do is maybe consider picking up like a cream cheek product, or maybe just some form of cheek topper that you could put over that kind of boring, you know, blush that you've had for X amount of time, just to add it together, and it makes it look like it's a whole nother product. So I like this. And now that I know I picked up a blush, I'm going to go back and pick up an actual highlighter, because I would like to try the highlighter in that range. So overall, if we had to choose my favorite, ooh, that's a good question. I think I'm gonna go with e.l.f. I think I'm gonna go with the e.l.f. Caribbean. I like all the other ones, I do, but I just really like how this applies and how this works with my routine a little bit more. Yeah, because even this one, I felt I had to build it up quite a bit, whereas the e.l.f., I feel like it just out of the gate is nicely pigmented and blendable, whereas Charlotte Tilbury I had to build up, and this one is just a little too close to my skin tone for it to be vibrant by itself. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I only have one cream highlighter, although they sent me a second shade. This is in Bounce, and the second shade that is now available is Citrine. And what I will say is this is pretty much one of my favorite formulas when it comes to cream highlighter. I really enjoy the packaging. I love how you can just put it on your cheeks, or you can just rub your fingers on top and just blend her in. I do recommend blending this formula in with your fingers though. I would not recommend with a brush or with a sponge. I just think with a sponge, you're not going to get the full kit and caboodle. And with the brush, I just think it's going to look dry and flaky and just terrible. I would say definitely use your finger. If you like super opposed, then use the sponge. But don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Because with the sponge, you're going to add that moisture. And depending on if you put this product up on before or after powder, that's just going to mess things up. I've used this before putting powder on and then after using powder. Either way, it works. Pretty much all of these cheek products, if it's still in my collection, it has to work both putting it on before before powder or after, because half the time I forget. And so I can't live that life where something is that finicky. I really can't. But I would highly recommend these products. And like I said, I have a second one. I will be doing hopefully a video maybe next week that is showcasing some new products that I have picked up or that have been sent to me. And yeah, this was yet another product that was sent to me, NPR by Merit Beauty. Okay, so I have a couple of kind of random products. So let's talk about those. Cali Ray, I have their Come Hell or High Water, and this is their like mascara. I believe this is tubing. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I hate it so much. Refuse to actually use this until it's finished. I just wanted to throw this away, but I wanted to make sure I talked to you guys about it. For me, it just clumps up my lashes, and I don't like the look at all. It's not volume, it's just clump. So I am definitely throwing this away, or at least putting it in my empties section. I don't like it at all. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is the Merit Beauty Brown Volumizing Pomade. This is yet another thing that they sent to me for review and all that jazz. I already did that though, so this is just, I guess, extra. I think this is okay. I think once again, this is aligned with their brand, where their brand is kind of minimalist, effortless, everyday makeup. This doesn't have enough hold for my brows though. And that's saying something. I don't have a lot of brows, but they do need hold, okay? And so for me, this doesn't provide that. I do like that it's a colored brow gel, but the fact that it's no hold, it's just not something that I see me purchasing. But I am going to get my use out of this product. It'll just, you know, take some time because I have other products that actually do what I want, and this one just doesn't. So that's that. Okay, we're winding down. Let's do powder cheek products. I have quite a few, so let's run through those really quickly. Now, what I'm gonna do for this, I have 4 different brands, so we're just gonna kind of run through the 2 that I have of each brand, and then I will kind of try my best to say like if there's a particular brand that I prefer the formula or whatever have you. So I have 2 shades of Clarity Cosmetics blushes. I have one in Honey Mustard, the other one in Rude Nude. I do just want to point out that one of my shades came without the back label, so that was extremely disappointing. I had to like chicken scratch on the back, and I just don't like it. But either way, that is not this is not a formula that I really enjoy. I have now tried it multiple ways, setting it with setting my base with my setting spray and then applying this. I've tried it with different brushes that pick up a little bit, brushes that pick up a lot. I've tried it multiple different ways. Okay, I've tried it with the cream under, and then I just don't particularly like this formula. This just does not adhere to my skin. It's just very it just has a lot of kick up, and that kick up literally just flies off my face when I go to apply it to my cheeks. I just don't like it. And then the shade Rude Nude is just too deep and too close to my skin tone for me to even see anything. And I did look at the swatches. I looked at the swatches that they had on the person that is of a darker complexion. I'm guessing she is darker than me or maybe even lighter than me. I don't really know, but I just did not find that either of these worked for me, both shade and formula. So I don't know how long those are going to be in my collection personally. I do have some friends that are lighter complexions than me, and maybe they can get those to work. I would not recommend that formula. It sucks. That is a black owned brand, but that's just not a formula that I can get any use out of from their collection. Another indie brand that I picked up cheek products from is Give Me Glow. So I picked up 1 blush and 1 highlighter, and I enjoyed these immensely. Now the blush is in Hey Honey and the highlighter is in Late Night Coastin'. So Hey Honey, although looks to be like a neutral blush and it's kind of blends in with my skin tone, it sticks. The formula is really nice, and I really appreciate it. I would have loved a little bit more, less like Honey Mustard and more like bright yellow, but I'm not mad with this. This is extremely unique, and I think I could use this to kind of build and do like a really pretty blush draping technique with this. So I am very happy to have this in my collection. I love the formula. I would love to pick up some more, but as I've said, the money situation in life right now is very steep, and so I can't buy everything. I can't. As for the highlighter, I actually like the highlighter formula. It is extremely blinding though. Do know that. This shade is probably too light for me, but it's me, so I'm gonna make it work. I have like a white-ish highlighter on today, and I actually tapped her on today. That's the first time I've done that in like the years that I've had that formula. It worked really pretty too. So I love both of these formulas. I would recommend both of these formulas. And you know, if and when I have the money in the future and I'm still interested, I will go ahead and pick up some more shades of each formula. I really do enjoy it. Probably more so the matte blush formula than the other. And as for the finish, I think it gives a slight, very slight natural finish, but it leans a lot more matte, but there's a slight natural finish to it. And I say that because this next brand is a full-on matte. Even though in the video I thought it was like more satiny, I just messed up and blended in my highlighter. I'm a fool. So anyways, I got 2 shades from Unearthly Cosmetics, and per usual I don't remember the shades, so I'm gonna have them on the screen. This is like the more orangey toned name. I don't remember. And then this one is the more neutral toned name. I genuinely don't remember. Either way, I like them both. This one actually shows up on my complexion as an actual blush, if that makes any sense. It's nice and poppy. It's nice and vibrant. Good to go there. This one up here is very subtle, and it has like a subtle sheen to it, which when I mixed them together in my first impressions was why I thought it would look more pink. This I didn't think was going to look as pink, but as you can see in the camera, it pulls very pink. In person, to me, it looks like a slight orange, but it pulls extremely pink, whereas this one pulls really nicely orange. So I like this formula. I may consider picking up some more products from this formula and from this brand in general. And did I say these are from Unearthly Cosmetics? I did have to pick up the packaging separate, whereas from Give Me Glow I did not. And I genuinely can't remember if I had to buy the packaging separate for Clarity. I don't think I did. I think they came with that packaging. The last powder cheek products that I need to talk about today are two from your girl Auntie Pat, okay? And these are my two Bridgerton highlighters. I have both of the shades that are available. So I have Incandescent Gold, and then I also have Extra Gold. I like them both, although if you are asking me, I definitely highly more so prefer Incandescent Gold. I don't know what it is. I prefer these kind of white light golds than like these straight up warm tone golds. I think because I don't have a warm undertone, these just pull very harsh on my skin tone, whereas these icy golds just, they meld a little bit better. I know somebody asked me if because I like this one, I thought I was a cool tone. I genuinely think I'm more neutral than cool, but I do think I have neutral olive. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I will say every foundation that I've got for like the last 2-3 years have neutral undertones, and I have enjoyed the kind of finish, if you will. So what I'm gonna do is compare. If I had to pick a favorite highlighter formula, it definitely is going to Auntie Pat with the Incandescent Gold. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this. This is a Baked Chalet formula, so I do enjoy Baked Chalets a lot more than kind of full-on mattes. And then also this has glitter. I know a lot of people don't like glitter, but I do. Give Me Glow I think has a little bit of glitter, but it's not as apparent as Auntie Pat. And then if I had to pick a powder matte blush to go with, I honestly would pick the Give Me Glow. I just prefer this slightly more than the Unearthly, but Unearthly's is really good as well. So those are the cheek products. Let's do lashes, because I have been getting into lashes lately. I've been applying them here and there, and there are two styles. There are two styles that I have tried this year. One is this collaboration, and it's a half lash from Revolution, and these are the wispy half lashes. These are the actual lashes that I've been using. That's why they look so beat up. I like that these are half lashes, but in testing out this second pair, I realized how fake these look. So would I recommend them? Yes and no. I would recommend them for you to kind of see if this is a thing that you want to try and do to kind of elevate your looks or whatever your reasoning is. I wouldn't personally recommend them for like long-term use, if that makes sense. The ones that I've been really enjoying are these Sephora Lily Lash in Miami. These are full lashes, so it's been real fun trying to actually put them on correctly, but I just enjoy what they do to my makeup looks and to me overall. I think they are nice and dramatic, but not overly. They don't look too extra in my opinion. And I also think that they look real, if that makes sense. Like there's not like a sheen that bounces off of them, whereas there's a sheen that bounces off the Revolution. So in between these two, I would definitely recommend these. These are more expensive though, but I did get them on sale like 2 times over, which is why I picked them up. All right, everything else is a lip product, so let's run through these and then we are finally good to go and your girl can rest. So I have 2 lip balm formulas, one from Lunar Beauty, and this is his lip oil in the shade Dare Me. This is pretty much clear, but you get that like hint of a shade or scent from the formula. I really like this. This genuinely feels like a lip oil, so it genuinely feels moisturizing and really nice. I genuinely like this. This is definitely going in my purse. I am very low on my current like chapstick that I have in there, and this, I've been waiting to kind of do this wrap up so I can throw this in my purse. I can't wait to get my use out of this. Then we're going to compare this to yet another product that was sent to me by Merit Beauty. And this is their Taupe Lip Oil, or their Tinted Lip Oil in Taupe. This to me does not feel as moisturizing and as lip oily as this one. This one feels a little bit more on the lip balm side of things. Not a bad thing, it's just the fact. And I think some people prefer one formula over another, so I wanted to make that apparent. Even though it looks like there's going to be a lot more color, it does have color, but don't think of this as being like a pigmented lip gloss. This is like slightly under that, but either way, I really do enjoy this product, and this will probably be something that stays here in like my room area. It won't make it to the purse. This needs to make it to my purse, because when I am at work and my lips are chapped, I don't have time. Okay, I don't have time. Plus, I prefer the Doe Fit applicator of this one. It's a paddle brush, and it's also just nice and soft, and it picks up a lot of product. Whereas the Merit Beauty one, the Doe Fit is a lot smaller, and it doesn't pick up nearly as much product. So yeah, if I had to do a comparison between the two, it would go to Lunar Beauty. Alrighty, then I have are my bullet lipsticks. I have 3 different formulas to talk about, and one is a plumping serum from by Mario, and this is in the shade Mocha Glow. I've been wanting to try this formula after it went viral. This is a really nice formula. It really does make your lips look nice and plump. I think it's mainly because of the sheen. There is a slight kind of minty cooling sensation at the beginning. After about a minute or two, it does wear away and you don't really feel it. I don't find that this formula lasts very long, but I don't think that's the point of it. The last thing I'll say when it comes to this formula is that if you turn it, prepare to use all of the product that you turn. I would say turn maybe once or twice and then use it. This is a very soft formula, so even though it looks like you didn't raise it up enough to get all of the formula that you need, it does kind of melt down into your lips, and so it can be a little bit too much if you turn it up just too high. Then we have the Huda Beauty Gold Digger lipstick. This is a more opaque formula, but this is still yet a cream lipstick formula, so it does give off a sheen on the lips. I love this shade and this formula. Both are really nice. If she had more shades in this formula that I actually was interested in, I would have already picked them up, but I looked multiple times and I just didn't see anything that I really thought I would get use out of. This is a beautiful shade. This has a slight yellow, I would say, undertone, but it blends it with my skin tone beautifully. I really like it. I love the finish. Like I said, it has that slight kind of shiny finish, and I do find that this kind of lasts on the same amount that any normal bullet lipstick would last, which is better than, like, let's say a lip balm, a lip gloss, or even like that plumping serum that I just talked about, which is from by Mario. The last kind of bullet product that I want to talk about, once again, was sent to me, and this is by Myrick, and this is in the shade, no, I bought this, my bad. So this is Myrick's Slip Signature Lip Product. I really like this. I like this. This doesn't give as much coverage as Huda Beauty, but it gives enough that I think it's a nice product. I really do. This would be something that I could see myself putting into my purse for every day, because it's so close to my skin tone that if I put it on, even if I go outside of my lip line, it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a big deal at all. Is this overly moisturizing? No. Is this overly like shiny or overly matte? No. I would say this is kind of a natural finish. It's not super creamy like this one, but it's not mattifying like any other bullet lipstick, like a MAC bullet matte lipstick, if that makes any sense. The last lip product I want to talk about is from Alien Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Jeanette. This is in their satin formula. This is actually a really nice formula. So I've worn this quite a few times, and I've worn this like long term, and I like it. I like the formula. I love the shade. Jeanette is a beautiful shade for me. And to me, I don't see any like overly shine. I wouldn't say this is shiny like Huda Beauty's cream sticks. I would say this is a satin in the sense that it doesn't dry suffocatingly matte, you know, but it is more or less a liquid lipstick. And yeah, I wouldn't say it lasts as long term as a matte liquid lipstick, but it kind of dries down more, once again, more naturally like my Merit, where it's not drying my lips out, but it's not overly glossy. If I had to pick I'm gonna pick 3 favorites between these lip products. I'm gonna say Lunar Beauty lip oil, Alien Cosmetics satin lip product, and then Huda Beauty cream lip product in the shade Gold Digger. So that's it. Good Lord, that is it. My throat hurts, okay? That's how much I've been talking, and I don't talk this much in real life. If you know me, you know me. Anyways, this is it. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.